Kobe too.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Fourth and Forever, your daily NFL news and rumors show powered by Roundtable Sports. Real coverage from real fans. Training camp is well underway. We are watching highlight reel after highlight reel. Some injury scares, unfortunately. Quite a few players have gone down with season-ending injuries. I'm not sure about y'all's teams, but we are having an epidemic in soft tissue concerns right within the Buffalo Bills. It's pretty common. We have TD Finstock live at training camp. I know that he has been in attendance. We have Colby coming off of a very long stream reacting to training camp for the New England Patriots. Damn, I am feeling some type of way. Folks, do me a favor. Please hit that thumbs up sign as you come in. Our goal over here is to create the largest NFL community on the damn internet. And how do we welcome new friends? It's very simple. All you do is just hit that thumbs up sign, all right? And it propels it out to the YouTube algorithm so we can welcome a bunch of new fans. Guys, do your part. If there is 50 of you watching, there should be 50 like buttons hit. Takes less than a second. Colby, how you doing? Talk to me.
I'm great, man. It's always a great opportunity to come on here, talk about not just Patriots news, but just talk about NFL news in general. So anytime I get to fill in on Fourth and Forever, it's always a blessing. Like you said, Dan, we did something a little new over on Patriots Global today. We did a live stream during training camp, broke down all the news, and it was a good stream, man. It was a successful stream. So I'm excited to talk about more than just Patriots, though, because a lot's been happening in the league.
A lot has been happening indeed. TD, how you doing, man?
Beautiful day. I'm getting a suntan in Miami, over 100 degrees out here, man. It's crazy. But it's good times, man. A lot happening in the league. I can't wait to break it all down. And bear with me to the audience. I brought my entire family down for training camp, so I got kids running around here in and out, so you might see some stuff.
Well, hey, man, nothing wrong with a little family interaction in the background. We are all humans. We are all people on this show over at Roundtable Sports. I love that element added to this network and to the show. Folks, we do want to remind everybody that we have brought back our famous call-in segment. All right. It is a bit different than what you noticed on the AFC's Roundtable. We are going to be letting callers in sporadically throughout the show, and that is reserved exclusively for our Patreon members. Guys, we have put the Patreon link right at the top of the chat. So if anything is on your mind, and that could be anything across the NFL, we're going to let you in about 20, 30 seconds where you ultimately end up giving your statement and or your question. We kick you out, and then we react to whatever you ultimately ended up saying. That Patreon is also going to give you a bonus episode of Fourth and Forever starting next week, a bonus episode of the AFC East Roundtable, film reviews, and a gambling show starting in September. So say, for example, that you want to go the extra mile and join the Patreon and have an opportunity of coming into this damn show, this damn stream, and talking to us. Go sign up for the Patreon. The live call-in link is already live for those of you that are members already. Boys, we have to have a conversation, man. Christian Wilkins, all right? My man has been allegedly smooching his bros in the locker room. As many of you guys know, okay, Wilkins was allegedly let go from the Las Vegas Raiders last week. Many assumed that this had to do with him not taking his rehab seriously. One crazy rumor I saw was that some people said that he was tickling one of his teammates' toes repeatedly, and that teammate got super upset about it. That is yet to be confirmed. But Schefter hopped on Pat McAfee a bit earlier today, and he said the incident, quote unquote, was Christian Wilkins playfully went to kiss a teammate on the top of his head. That teammate got very upset about it, and that was fuel to the fire, which led to his ultimate release. I'm going to talk to Colby on this one. Colby, do we think that Christian Wilkins will find a job in 2025? Of course, considering that he is healthy. Go ahead.
As long as he's healthy, he is 100% going to find another job, because the thought process amongst other NFL teams is going to be, okay, well, was this a Christian Wilkins thing, or was this a Raiders thing? And let's be completely honest with ourselves. The Raiders, they've been a little bit dysfunctional at times, especially with the coaching staff they've had in there, the turnover they've had, the lack of winning, just the atmosphere in general. Teams care about the on-field product. They don't necessarily care about what happens in the locker room. Now, they do to an extent, some teams more than others, but at the end of the day, we have seen time after time, especially with teams that are trying to contend, that are going all in for the 2025 season, they will take chances on guys that have injury problems. They will take chances on guys that are older. They will take chances on guys that might potentially be harmful to the locker room if they produce on the field. So as long as Christian Wilkins is healthy, his medicals check out, his physicals, whatever it might be, as long as that checks out, he is going to find a home because he is, when he's healthy, when he's on the field, one of the best interior defensive linemen in all of football. And if you look at the behind the scenes videos, you look at him mic'd up, he's always a fun guy. He's always a little bit weird, but he's always bringing that energy. He's always been an interesting locker room guy. He's always very playful with his teammates and other teams. And let's not forget that when healthy, he has consistently been in the NFL top 100 players voted on by the players themselves. He is a top 10 interior defensive lineman at stopping the run and getting to the quarterback. And it is a very valuable thing to have an interior defensive lineman that can, one, get to the quarterback, but two, stop the run. Because it's one thing to have good edge rushers that can collapse the pocket from the outside, but a quarterback is still going to step up into the pocket, deliver a throw, or just throw the ball out, and they're going to live to see another down. But when you have a good interior of the D-line and the pocket collapse from the interior, there's nowhere for the quarterback to go. He's either throwing a pick, throwing off his back foot, or he's getting sacked. Let's keep in mind that Wilkins was signed only in March 10th of 2024 to a 4-year, $110 million contract with $84.7 million in guaranteed money. He is going to find a job, I promise you that, as long as he's healthy.
Very interesting. I did see the Patriots might allegedly be interested, but that could be a conversation for later. Who knows? Who knows? And the tickle monster is a free agent, ladies and gentlemen. TD, what do you got, man? Christian Wilkins, you're familiar with him. Talk to me.
You're wrong for that, Dan. All right, this is just some weird stuff.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the organization just trying to defame him a little bit here. Why? Because they really want to get up off of that contract, and they feel strong about the reason why they cut him with the medical, not going to rehab like they wanted them to or whatever it may have been. But I feel like they're just trying to add a little fuel to the fire to justify what they did. Because there's a grievance that's being filed, and both sides, you can argue, have a case. So you add this type of stuff on top of it, it kind of like starts to, especially in public opinion, it starts to tilt, public perception away from Christian Wilkins to the team. So I mean, all of this weird stuff, kissing feet or tickling feet, whatever it may be. I don't know, man. That's just crazy stuff. But you know what?
Yeah.
If he's healthy, whoever gets him gonna get a player. But
did you guys see the video, right? You saw the locker room video, correct?
So I saw him dancing around, but
yeah. That was a couple of days before he was cut. So he has this lower leg injury that kept him out. He only played 5 games last year. After that big deal in free agency, he played five games before going down with that season-ending injury. Yeah. And essentially, he was starting training camp on the PUP list, so he's still injured, but he's dancing around in the locker room a few days before getting cut. The Raiders want him to get surgery so that he can come back quicker. He says, I don't want to get surgery. I want to rehab it the way I want. And they said, well, clearly you're not ready if you're going to start on the PUP, but you're also dancing around in the locker room. So what's going on?
Hey, you know what, folks? He is now a big name free agent. I wonder what team ends up firing over a shot. Dan, you need to earn that like hit. Pats G and TD already have fins up. I would feel some type of way too if my team has owned yours for the past 10 years. DF forever. How you doing? Toast to our 3 hosts, Dan and TD. Much respect. Dwayne, you are the man indeed. All right, listen, guys, we have our first Patreon caller coming in. LaSalle, 30 seconds. What do you got for us?
Yep. I got something real quick. What do you guys? When do you guys are afraid that Drake Maye is going to be the Tua of the 2000 of his draft class? When you guys are going to be fearing about that?
Drake Maye perhaps afraid of becoming the next Tua in the AFC East? Colby, that sounds like a Patriots question to me.
Is that like positive or negative?
I would assume it's negative. And by the way, Lascelles, we appreciate you calling in, folks. That is the Patreon caller, folks. If, for example, you want to lock in on Patreon, sign up for Patreon right now, and you could come out and you can come on stage and give us your question. What do you got on that, Colby?
So I'm assuming that we mean from a negative standpoint, and if that's the case, I mean, I don't really know why we're concerned about Drake Maye being the next Tua. He doesn't have injury problems. He's not throwing picks in practice. Drake Maye's actually looked really, really freaking good in training camp. But before yesterday, he missed like 5 passes. He had a 92% completion percentage and only missed 2 passes. He hasn't thrown a single interception. He hasn't turned the ball over. He's actually looking really good in training camp. So if it's from a negative standpoint, I mean, there's no correlation between Drake Maye and Tua. So I'm not worried at all. What about you, TD?
This will be the deciding season. I'm gonna for Drake Maye.
I still think he has another year.
No, you need to give a quarterback 3 years.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. It'll tell us his trajectory, though.
Okay,
like for me to actually analyze him, I don't think it's fair to analyze him after last year. I thought what he gave the Patriots last year was good enough to feel optimistic about his future. This year is going to tell us, it'll tell me if he's going to be that dude or not. Because, listen, ballers ball. If you ain't balling by your second year, then your ceiling is being a good enough not to be good enough quarterback. But if you showing that you have those ballerific intangibles, then yeah, man, I'm going to ride with it and say, hey, this guys might actually be that dude. So this year is important for me to evaluate Drake Maye. But I'm going to be honest. I felt as an evaluator of quarterbacks a little optimistic about, his start from last season.
Well, yeah, he showed that on multiple different occasions. I mean, the reason that nobody talks about all the plays that Drake Maye made, nobody talks about the potential that he showed despite having one of the worst, if not the worst, wide receiver group in the NFL. Again, 28th in separation amongst wide receivers last year and the worst offensive line in the league throughout the last 2 years, according to PFF. Nobody talks about the plays he was making or the situation he was in because the Patriots were getting blown out. They were down by so much because of just how bad that defense was. As long as Drake Maye can stop turning the ball over, he has shown to be able to make the throws. He has shown the arm talent. He has shown the physicality on the ground from a mobile standpoint that he can certainly be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But again, it starts with limiting those turnovers.
So I got to tell you what, man, listen, I would say that our good friend, Drake Maye, has actually been showing a little bit of promise, maybe even some Josh Allen-esque right here. This is one of my favorite clips I've seen.
Kyle Williams today, man.
Really?
Kyle Williams has been an absolute dog, man. Listen, I remember when I came on this show and I said pre-draft, I said 3 years from now, we're going to reflect back on this wide receiver class. And I don't want anybody to come in here and tell me that I did not predict Kyle Williams would be the best wide receiver to come out of this 2024 class. But let's take a look. Live rep here from the Patriots training camp. Drake Maye and into Kyle Williams. My God. The hands, baby. The hands, man. Listen, some Drake Maye stuff.
Beautiful.
I've been cleaning this already. Like, dude, come on. That's Josh Allen-esque right there, man. That is Josh Allen-esque.
Play to Kyle Williams too, Dan. I mean, when you look at it, that's really good coverage by the cornerback Marcellus Dial. And the thing too is that Marcellus Dial did really good pushing Kyle Williams to the back of the end zone because now Kyle Williams isn't just working against the defensive back, he's working against the hash marks. He's working to not go out of bounds. Drake Maye puts the ball where only Kyle Williams is going to get. He extends and brings it in with one arm. I mean, that is a connection that is absolutely brewing throughout camp.
So I look at that rep and I see it as there's nothing more that DB could have possibly done.
No,
there's nothing more that DB could have possibly done. He did his job, but it just goes to show you how well the ball placement was. And we just go from there. I have another player that, look, maybe it's my bias because many of us know. Okay, actually, I'm going to save this post specifically for later. But I have actually been finding some beef with Panthers fans on Twitter. Surprisingly enough, I have found some beef with Panthers fans because for some reason they hate on my man, Hunter Renfrow, who, from what I have understood, has been playing like an absolute animal all week long. Look at that. Look at that, man. Why do we forget that Hunter Renfrow for the Las Vegas Raiders was an absolute dog all season long? Look at this. Not that specifically. Where's the other one? It's right here. Look at this. Hunter Renfrow. Oh, done. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. I've been trying to tell Panthers fans that this guy is going to be their best friend in 2025. I'm not in on Tet, and we are going to look at a clip from Tet McMillan earlier today that is going to feed my narrative. But TD, thoughts on this? Expectations for good old Hunter Renfrow in 2025. Could he be the best wide receiver on that team for the Carolina Panthers?
I mean, he absolutely could be, but this is the Panthers. It's all going to be relying on that quarterback, that young kid that y'all tried to make it seem like had a resurgence last year. I didn't see a resurgence. I saw, hey, man, he finally got himself worked up to being above average. But hey, is this what year would this be for him?
So for Hunter Renfrow, last year
no, Bryce Young,
third year. Oh.
Third
year already, which is crazy, dude. Life's just passing by the blink of an eye.
It's crazy, yeah. So this is it. This is it. You got to take care of business. You got weapons. Hunter Renfrow is one of them dudes. So especially if he's healthy, at the end of the day, you got to be the one that unlocks this guy and allows him to be the best potential that he can be, show the best potential he can show. But this is all on Bryce Young, man. Everything with Carolina's offense will be Bryce Young driven. How will he play? Will secondaries fear him to where they don't have to hone in on the run? Can they have balance over there? It's all him. So every wide receiver in that room is just a matter of, hey, can the quarterback get the job done? And what people don't talk about, this roster is actually a pretty good roster. They spent a lot of money and assets the last 2 years to build it up. But the results aren't showing as such. So we'll see. But yeah, Hunter Renfrow, man, them routes that you even showing right now, them deadly, man.
Dude, you know what? It's funny. And maybe my bias is showing, especially since he grew up in my hometown. And so I played baseball with his older brother. So maybe it's just like my hometown bias. But look, like kid had an autoimmune disorder last year where he dropped down to about 150 pounds. He had to take time away from the league. Ooh. But when you hear safeties like Derwin James on an interview that was viral a couple of years ago, when he was asked who are the most difficult wide receivers to cover in the NFL, he said with the Jay Jettas, he said Jamar Chase, and the third guy he said was Hunter Renfrow. When Derwin James is going out there and saying that Hunter Renfrow is one of the most hardest wide receivers to cover in the league, give me a break. Colby, thoughts on Hunter? Should Panthers fans be more excited about this kid being on their offense?
Man, I'm just honestly so happy for Hunter Renfrow, just as a person, football aside, that he's back to playing football, because he's always been one of my favorite wide receivers in the league. I mean, as a Patriots fan, I've come to love those small white slot guys who are shifty, mechanical technicians, right? I mean, New England was run off of those with Tom Brady for like 20 years. But with Renfrow, I just remember them talking about releasing him and trading him for so long, and nobody was willing to trade for him, and then nobody was willing to sign him. I'm like, what's going on? This makes no sense. When this guy's on the field, like this guy's producing, there has to be something that is an underlying reason on why these teams are not targeting him. And it was because of a medical reason, just like Dan said, which kept him out of the league for a little bit of time. So I think more teams should have been in on him when Hunter Renfrow decided that he was going to come back, because it would have been one thing if he took time off of football because of injury, or if his playing style was more as a speedster, because then you can kind of take a step back as time goes on, as you get older. But when you are a true technician, like he is, a guy that operates in the slot, short to intermediate, you can play football for a long time. It's really just based off of how many hits you are taking. And the fact that he took time off of football, he's letting his body refresh and rehab a little bit. I think he's going to come back stronger. And I think because of how he's performing with the Panthers, that's also the same reason why there's rumors going around about Adam Thielen potentially being traded. So I think Hunter Renfrow is going to have a bounce back year, and he's going to show the league why he's still one of the best slot receivers in the NFL.
He's one of the best, man. And you know what? I got to tell you what, I'm not convinced on Tet McMillan. I'm not. This
Really?
clip ultimately ended up dropping today in practice. And yes, the catch was impressive, but zero separation. His 4.6 speed is all over the place right here. Nice catch, but of course, it is training camp. Colby, I remember that you were a big critic of Tet McMillan, or maybe that was the opposite. Thoughts on Tet? What are your expectations for him in 2025, his rookie season?
Yeah, so I mean, I liked him. I certainly did. I remember when Patriots fans wanted him, and I was like, look, if they go after him and they have an idea for the offensive line in the second round, like, okay, but do I want him in the top 5? No, he's someone that I would want mid to later rounds because I don't think he's going to pop off as a true top 5 pick, and I do still stand by that. He's the type of guy where a lot of people were trying to compare him to Mike Evans. I never saw that. Why? Because I thought he's good in and out of his breaks. I thought he has a better route tree than some people gave him credit for, but he is a very slow guy. He's someone that is going to be a very one-dimensional wide receiver. He's going to fit in a very specific role in any offense that he's in, and that is that contested catch on the outside in that X receiver role. So I do still think he's going to be good. Do I think he's ever going to be a 1,400-yard guy? No, but I think he'll be a guy that does produce in the 900-yard area. And I think he is going to be that security blanket for Bryce Young, right? Like, it doesn't matter how fast you are, as long as you create enough separation, as long as when that ball goes your way, that you're not a 50-50 guy, that you are more of an 80-20 guy. And I think as long as Tet McMillan can be that, then I think he's going to succeed in this league. But yes, I certainly was not maybe as high on him as some other people were. I don't think he's going to be this top 5 receiver in the NFL.
So what are your thoughts on this, TD? A very controversial name entering the 2025 season.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, when this kid was picked in like the top 15, wasn't he?
He was picked in the top 10.
Yeah, he was 8th overall, I want to say.
Yeah, and from my understanding, he ran like a 4 or 5. Only Mike Williams and Mike Evans were the last guys to actually run a 4 or 5 or worse and get selected that high. What is he going to be? Is he going to be a physical, AJ Brown who ran a 4.49 when he was in college? I don't know. I mean, again, these receivers, man, they come a dime a dozen these days. So it's like top 5. Like, why are we even shooting that high for him off rip?
Yeah.
Who was the guy that the Panthers drafted? Not this past draft, but the year before in the first round. They drafted another wide receiver.
Oh man, he was also a local guy. Man,
he kind of served in that same role. He served in that same role to where he was, faster, but he was tall, X on the outside. I think that Tet McMillan is going to be a better receiver than him. And I think they took Tet McMillan because
Xavier Legette.
Xavier Legette did not pan out last year the way that they were projected. I think Tet McMillan will be a better receiver than him.
So here's the deal. It's funny because I see this wide receiver room being dangerously close to the Buffalo Bills. Not a lot of talent, at least on paper, but a lot of traits. If their offensive coordinator can really make all of those individual receivers do their job, as Bill Belichick once said, like have Hunter Renfrow as your route guy, have Xavier Legette maybe being on the outside with a little bit of speed, maybe your route runner here and there, and then Tet McMillan being your red zone threat, because he is physical and he is a solid contested catch type guy. I think this team has some smoke behind them, and I think that they can be competitive. But it all depends. What can Bryce Young do? What can Bryce Young do? That is the common denominator. Can he be able to propel this wide receiver room that's lacking, in my opinion, a true one? And no disrespect to Adam Thielen, but they just have a bunch of trait guys, not a unicorn, if you will. Have a Patreon caller coming in. King Lowski, what up, man?
It's the Fourth and Forever crew.
What up?
Gentlemen, how are we doing?
What's up,
Let me
Lowski?
just say this, baby. All right, good. I just had 2 questions for you. We had a surgeons come from the AFC West with the Raiders. Are we believing this Raider hype with Geno Smith? I just wanted to take a random question to the left. Are we believing this? We seen all of the Raider hype. We seen the channel go crazy. I want to know, are we believing this Raider hype? And my second question is, which 3 of you bums is ending up last in the division?
Shout out Lowski, man. Shout out Lowski.
All right, so 2 very good questions. I do want to start off with the Las Vegas Raiders. Delusional. All of the fans that think that they have a shot at winning the division, and surprisingly enough, I have seen a couple of Raiders fans. No disrespect to my boy Knock Andrew either, because I know that he's in my streams. He's watching this show. Knock Andrew. Okay, listen, I am very optimistic with what your team can do in the future. I like Pete Carroll. I do. And Jalen Milroe has been looking pretty damn good in camp. I'm not going to lie to you. However, I see much of the same for the Raiders. Maybe if they were placed in the NFC South, for example, we might be having a different conversation. But this AFC West is arguably the best damn division in football. I think you could maybe make an argument on the AFC North, but I just don't see it happening, man. Still a lot of questions on that offensive line. I don't care how good Ashton Genty is. I don't believe that he's going to be putting up Saquon Barkley numbers, or he's not going to be like a Derrick Henry type player, at least year 1. It's going to take some time for him to develop. But it's the trenches for me. It is the secondary as well for the Raiders by itself. I know that Geno is reunited with Pete Carroll, and that's where he was able to revive his career. Maybe they might be able to steal a couple of divisional games here and there, but I feel like the Raiders are still, I'd say, about a year out and one more draft class before I start taking them seriously. Colby, thoughts?
I think that the Raiders have some big time talent, but they do not have the overall talent to be a good enough team. They especially don't have enough talent to compete in division with the Chiefs, with the Chargers, with the Broncos, with one of the best divisions, like Dan said. Did they upgrade at cornerback with Geno Smith? Yes. Is Geno Smith the long-term answer? Absolutely not. I think that you got Brock Bowers. I think that they got 2 really good tight ends that they're going to run a lot of 12 personnel with this upcoming season. But that receiver room is absolutely horrific. And I love Jacoby Myers, but Jacoby Myers is a possession receiver that does absolutely nothing after the catch. He is a number 2 at best. He's not a guy that will be a number 1 ever. I like Ashton Genty, but I agree with what Dan said. I think Genty will be a good running back. I definitely think he'll be someone that eclipses 1,000 total yards on the ground. Is he going to be the type of running back that changes the dynamic of an offense, that has this Saquon Barkley, Philadelphia Eagles type of effect? No, I just don't see it happening. And I don't think that offensive line is good enough to excel that offense past its obvious limitations. From a defensive standpoint, as long as you got Max Crosby, that defensive line is going to be good enough. But outside of Max Crosby, I don't believe that defensive line has enough. And one guy alone isn't going to make this massive impact that is the end-all, be-all, that makes you one of the best pass rush units in the NFL. Something we also have to remember is that you are playing Patrick Mahomes, and if you want to beat him, it comes with putting pressure on him. If they had Christian Wilkins still in the mix, maybe this is a different conversation. But now you only have one guy on that defensive line that I truly trust in pass rush situations, and they lost some big-time names. They lost one of their top linebackers in Robert Spillane in free agency, and they did not do enough to address that secondary. They brought in Jamal Adams, but that is duct taping your issues, and even then, he's expected to play more linebacker than he actually is safety. I'm actually more concerned about that defense than I am that offense. So me personally, I think they'll be better than last year, but I just don't buy in the hype.
Oh my God. And speaking of this, we have Luis coming in saying Colby won 6 Super Bowls before 15 years old. How is that fair? Look at that,
hey,
man.
Hey,
man. Listen, you know what?
Hold on. Were you alive for all 6 though?
I was born in 2001. So quite literally when I came out of the womb, I was balling.
Dude, some of us are just God's favorites. All right. Perfect example. Right above here. It's funny because we actually have a clip from Ashton Genty, and dude, in his receiving game right there, the and one, he also got a damn catch off of it as well. But TD, thoughts on this? Should Raiders fans be excited about this season, or should they pump the brakes and look to the future?
Listen, Kobe said it all, and you said it. Listen, it's the Raiders. Okay, let's just be honest here. You just got rid of Christian Wilkins, so that's a void. And it's the Raiders, man. You got the Chargers, You got the Broncos and the Chiefs in your division. Are you better than any of those three? To be talking about this is it, this is the year. That's the problem. Start in your division. Start in your division first. Okay. So I don't see the Raiders being better than none of those three teams. So I'm sorry. I'm not listening. I'm not believing the hype.
Oh man, not believing the hype. And then last but not least, of course, we have which three of you bums' favorite team is going to finish last in the AFC East? I love that question.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you and Kobe got to figure that out. I mean, that's.
Oh, get out of here, bro!
Yeah, just y'all
get out of here,
man. Y'all let me know when y'all need me.
Get out. All right. Honestly, man, no disrespect to my boy Lowski, but it is between the Dolphins and the Jets for me.
No, listen, it's the one that's not here. Okay, it's the one that's not here.
That's how we get along for the rest of the episodes. The one that's not here.
It's the one that's not here.
We just pile on the Jets. Yeah, we just pile on the Jets when Richie's not here. Like that's typically what we do on this show.
I mean, it feels like the obvious answer, right? Like I feel like the Dolphins will be good enough to be a middle of the pack team as long as Tua's healthy. Right. And then I think the Jets, they just have so many new moving pieces. They have a new OC, they have a new DC, they have a new GM, they have a new head coach, they have a new quarterback that's already dealing with an injury. Sounds like he should be good to go week 1, but nonetheless already dealing with injuries. I just feel like there is so many new pieces to this team that's gonna have to learn along the way. And they have one of the hardest schedules here in the AFC East. I actually think they have the hardest in the AFC East, if I'm correct. And I just think it's gonna cost them early on.
It is going to cost them. And you know what? It sounds like we have a Vikings fan in the chat. Funny boy Rody. What's up? Rody, man. Listen, we can only imagine you just discovered the show. Hope you could stick around a little bit. And you know what? I'm actually curious tapping into Minnesota's training camp and seeing how everything is going for them. That's exactly what we are going to do because JJ McCarthy is going to start his redshirt rookie season. And boys, I got to tell you, all right, I've seen clips like this. Let me pause this so I can get some more dramatic effect, if you will. But the young man.
I heard he out there balling too.
But the young man, from what I understand, is really implementing himself into that offense, right? This guy, Phoenix, and by the way, I'm not sure if you guys trust training camp statistics. I often feel that people just pull these out of their ass and people run with them and believe them. However, according to this guy, he says 3 days of practice, JJ is 27 for 33. He has 81.8% with 5 touchdowns and 1 interception during 11v11 period. And then here is the pick that was put out there. And this is definitely a haters account right here, but he scans the field, fires one down the middle, right to the house. Right to the house by them Minnesota Vikings. Man. Talk to me, guys. Talk to me. Are we bought in on JJ McCarthy? Because I do think that this raises an interesting question. We like to shit on Sam Darnold on this show, right? Like our Sam Darnold lover and our Sam Darnold Glazer is not here today. He has off.
Former Jet. That's
of course. But how easy, or do you think that JJ McCarthy can mimic what Sam Darnold did last year in the regular season by being top 5 in passing yards, top 5 in touchdown passes, when I want to check this out and fact check it right before I say it on air, because I don't want to be incorrect, but I think I have a pretty good understanding of where he fell. Yeah, he has never passed for over 3,000 yards in his life. In 2022, he passed for 2,719 yards. In 2023, he passed for 2,991. Last year, he spent the entire season on the bench, obviously recovering from his knee injury. So should Vikings fans taper their expectations? How confident are we that JJ is going to, at the very least, mimic what Sam Darnold did for them last year? TD, talk to me.
I think he's going to exceed it.
Really?
Yeah, I think he, first of all, you know who the secret weapon is? KOC. KOC is the secret weapon. If he could, at a minimum, get JJ to do it, Zach Wilson did, which tells you there's so much more room and opportunity in that quarterback room. This kid, you know what he reminds me of? He's like a Justin Herbert and Ryan Tannehill love child. Like
wait, he's a Justin Herbert and Ryan Tannehill love child.
Yeah, I think he's that good. I'm starting to see a lot of clips and stuff of his poise in the pocket, and his delivery of the football. Like these plays right here, man. Patience, just letting it fly. Yeah, the kid's good. I think he's better than Sam Darnold. But we'll see this year. We can't just automatically give him the nod. But the Vikings are going to be a scary team. I didn't think they could get better on the defensive side of the football, and boy, did they. They went and got better. And the offensive side of the football, I trust KOC. You just need this kid. You know what you need from him? Just to show up in the big games, and you got a better player. If he shows up in the big games.
What are your thoughts on this, Colby? What should Vikings fans feel going into the 2025 season? And here's a nice little pass, steps up in the pocket. Solid connection with him and TJ Hawkinson. Go ahead. Thoughts?
Dan, I think you hit on something really interesting, and that's the fact that he hasn't thrown for over 3,000 yards. But I think we need to ask ourselves why exactly that is. And that's not a JJ McCarthy thing. It's not that he sucks, and that's why. It was because of the system that he's in. I actually think that these are two very different systems that he's playing in, because when he was in Michigan, he plays quarterback, obviously, but he was not the quarterback of the offense. You know who was? Blake Corum. The way that they ran that offense was they ran it through the damn ground. And when they did pass the ball, JJ McCarthy was usually dumping it off to a tight end, Colston Loveland. That's what they did. They didn't really pass the ball a whole lot down the field, but now he's in an offense where he has those deep threats. It is going to be a passing offense. So it is going to be a very different style of offense where he is going to be showcased so much more as a passer than he was at Michigan at the collegiate level. So I think that he's definitely going to pass for over 3,000 yards, and he's in arguably the best situation that you could possibly be in as a quarterback in the National Football League, and that is with the Minnesota Vikings. You got Jay Jettas, you got Jordan Addison, you got a good offensive line, you got KOC, right? I mean, we saw Kirk Cousins ball out there, leave, and then look absolutely terrible with the Falcons. You saw Sam Darnold look absolutely terrible with multiple franchises go to the Minnesota Vikings and ball out and make them a playoff team, looking like a starter that got him a bag just 1 year later in free agency with the Seahawks. So I think that this is going to not necessarily be, can JJ McCarthy replicate what Sam Darnold did? I think it's going to be, what can KOC do with him? How can he put him in the best situation to succeed? And let's keep in mind that JJ McCarthy, I don't think he's going to have this mental funk, because a lot of times young quarterbacks, they start right away and they're not mentally ready, and it puts them mentally a tick behind. JJ McCarthy had the opportunity to sit behind and learn the offensive system for an entire year. So I don't think it's going to affect him mentally, and I expect him to fire on all cylinders.
Fire on all cylinders, JJ McCarthy. For me, I think Vikings fans should anticipate a slight regression in quarterback play. However, like TD alluded to, I like what you did on defense. And there have been quite a few. All right?
Boy,
quarterbacks that have leveraged quality defense throughout the league. We have a special guest in the chat. Richie, what's up,
Patreon caller. You're a Patreon caller.
What's
up, guys?
What's up, buddy? We were just shitting on Sam Darnold.
Chilling.
What?
No. Sorry, buddy.
I didn't know you were down there at training camp.
Yeah, man. Where you at,
man? Yo, why are you flexing on us like that?
Is that water behind you, Richie?
That's the ocean.
This is the Long Island Sound behind me.
Oh, man.
I'm out in Greenport, all the way out East Long Island right now, celebrating my girlfriend's birthday.
Nice.
Shout out to your girlfriend, man.
Shout out to Colby.
Tell her the boys from Fourth and Forever said happy birthday.
Yeah, we'll sing her if she wants, We've been working on it.
Well, I wanted to chime in. I see that there's a lot of 250 people, 266 live right now. Man, Colby, I think you're the reason why they're here.
We're balling.
So you may have to replace me.
So you want to know why there's so many people in here?
Because they're
peep
like
that title. No, peep that title, bro. Peep it. Shocking camp moments you need to see.
All right, well, recap the shocking moments in 30
Christian
seconds.
Wilkins tickling and licking.
Yeah, we started off the show with Christian Wilkins. He's been kissing his bros in the locker room. He's been giving them smooches.
Allegedly.
Drake Maye and Kyle Williams.
Allegedly, all right?
Hunter Renfrow. We talked about the Vikings just now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drake Maye.
Talking about Hunter Renfrow. Drake Maye's overall development. And King Lowski came in with a great Patreon question. He said, why are Raiders fans so cocky? Are the Raiders fans going to be good this year? And we had a unanimous no.
Whoa. Is this true from Reigning Slayer? Talking ish on the Jets when I was gone? Did you guys have a Jet segment today?
No. We were giving real analysis. Y'all probably going to be last in the division.
Well, I missed it.
So Lowski came in and he asked, which three of you bums is going to have your favorite team in the basement? And we all said the
Jets.
Jets.
Been in the basement the last 2 years will be there again for the third straight year.
You think it's going to be the Patriots? It's crazy. We sweeping those Jets. Reality's settling back in, Rich. Come on.
It's going to be history repeats itself.
I'm about to put you back in that depression, Rich, but I'm going to check up on you, so it's okay.
That is rough. I'm glad Richie's here because I did kind of want to take another topic that we have in the arsenal right here. Folks, listen, all of us are talking about Ashton Genty. But I got to tell you what, one running back has actually been making some noise, and that just so happens to be Cam Skattebo. All right? Skattebo, second rounder for the Giants. Look at that athleticism.
Wow.
My God, man. He's been cooking. Scatty Tat Tat has been cooking. What are y'all's thoughts on Cam Skattebo? Could he potentially go down as the most impressive rookie running back in 2025? I'm going to start off with Richie since you joined us last minute.
No, he's not going to be the most impressive running back in 2025, but he is going to be a dog. I did like him pre-draft. I think he's on a team that's going to utilize him. They're going to try to run the ball. But listen, he's on the Giants that are just absolutely incompetent offensively. The thing that excites me about the Giants is their defensive line and their front seven, not their offense whatsoever. But, hey, man, he's going to get opportunity. You never know. You can never rule out a rookie running back in the mid rounds. I think there's better running backs that are coming out of the draft, but I mean, that highlight is that's what training camp is about. When you go to training camp as a fan, you want to see plays like that. And when I was at training camp for 2 days covering the Jets, seeing plays like that, it's exciting. It boosts confidence of the fans for sure.
And per Barstool Sports, Cam Skattebo has won over every Giants fan by being an athletic freak during practices. Gives us a reason to have a glimmer of hope. I wouldn't go that far, Barstool. Okay, we all know. It's going to be tough. Maybe he'll end up adding some cool highlights. All right, TD, thoughts, Cam Skattebo. Does he have an opportunity of potentially being the best running back to come out of this class?
Not only the best running back coming out of the class, I think Genty will be, but he might be the best running back in New York, period. Just in general, when you really look at the Jets, you look at the Bills, they don't really have a good running back. They got a good running back, but not a great running back. This kid's athletic. He sparks the team. He might be, well, I ain't going to say, I was about to say something crazy, that he might be the next Saquon. Slow down there.
By the way, this is the first time TD's ever heard of this guy. By the way,
I stopped myself. No, it's the second time, Richie. Second time.
By the way, this is the first time TD's ever heard of this guy's name.
Second time, Richie.
Best running back in New York.
Second time, and the first impression was just so good. I know everything about him. Colby, thoughts?
Hold on, Dan. But I don't remember who the Jets running back is. Do y'all? Because he was non-existent last year. Was
sure? I mean, he's tearing up camp right now. You don't know Braylon Allen?
RB1.
So I thought I actually heard. So I thought I actually heard some breaking news about Breece Hall, like whether or not that was a rumor. Because, like, look, Richie, I have been on information overload for the past couple of days since we got you. What is this news that I brought up pertaining to Breece Hall?
What news are you referring to? What he said at the press conference?
Yeah, what he said at the press. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Breece is number one. He's not expecting a contract extension. He's entering the final year of his deal. And obviously Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson got their deal, and they're from the same draft class. Here's Braylon Allen, by the way. TD's like the Jets don't have a running back. I mean, a guy that size should not run that fast, by the way.
He's got some speed.
Allen is going to be a brute, bro.
He got some speed.
But unique thing about Breece Hall, too, is not even just the long term. What he said in the press conference is really interesting in terms of the biggest difference between the coaching staff. And he had a lot of things to say about what he's noticed. The training camp is different this year compared to last few years with Robert Saleh. So that's a big thing he said. But when it comes to the long term, I'm not really expecting Breece to stay here long term. I think this is going to be his last year, honestly. That's my expectation, unless he balls out and the Jets give him a franchise tag or an extension. But he said that he knows that just this regime did not draft him. I mean, he's trying to prove himself to this coaching staff every day he gets on the football field. But Braylon Allen is what is a really exciting Jets fans, to the point where this Breece Hall stuff isn't really upsetting us because we know what Braylon Allen's about to do this year too.
Dude, listen, it is Breece Hall action. But listen, man.
Well, I got to run. I just want to chime in for a few minutes. I appreciate you boys having me. Colby, appreciate you. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hit the thumbs up button. I'll be back, baby. And then going back to training camp twice this week. TD, keep killing it at training camp in South Florida. Appreciate everybody in the chat.
Happy birthday.
Hey, bro.
Dude, we love you, man.
You're a woman.
And happy birthday, Bella. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Richie, you're the man. We love you, dude.
Thank you so much.
We love you. We miss you. We miss you
Rich.
Indeed. And by the way, guys, I'm not sure if y'all have peeped the Roundtable Sports so the Twitter account. All right. But these interns have been popping off, baby.
They've been balling.
These boys have been going a little crazy. I've been trying to fish for some things to talk about, and they just feed it to me right now. You have the Cortland Sutton has agreed to turn. Oh my God. Breaking news, folks.
Just happened.
Damn, bro.
Really? I didn't even know.
It literally just happened 2 minutes ago, and I was giving the interns their flowers for just running this X account so efficiently. Cortland Sutton, dude, holy hell, 4-year, $92 million extension. It's not $92, but it's $92 million, I could assume.
$92 extension.
Colby, a $92 extension, folks. Look at that.
That is a damn deal right there. Oh, my God.
All right, Colby. Colby, what do you got on this $92 extension, baby? Talk to me.
Well, first off, that is pennies on the dollar right there. That is the deal of the NFL history right there. We'll have to let the interns know. You got to add the M, damn it. You got to add the M. But hey, man, to get their guy locked up, right? Like I've been saying they need to find that guy past Cortland Sutton. I feel like for years, there's just been rumors after rumors, year after year, about Cortland Sutton being traded. He balls out with Bo Nix. The Denver Broncos finally make it to the playoffs last year. They give him an extension because that is their number one wide receiver. I think he's only going to be here for so much longer, right? He's that big outside X receiver. He was that security blanket for Bo Nix. So you definitely want to keep him around long term while Nix does develop. But I would definitely say that they need to find the next guy, that next number one guy to start developing behind Cortland Sutton. But for the time being, Bo Nix is number one guy, his number one target gets locked up long term. And that's exactly how you take care of your young quarterback.
And look at that, man. We have the interns making the edit and throwing the M at the end of that.
They
92.
must have been listening to us.
That's what we're talking about, man. Shout out to the turns. Shout out to the turns, baby. Someone said it.
And that's he just got a big bump.
And someone just said that's a WNBA extension, $92. All right, Tony, how you doing, man? Talk to me. What do you got?
This is rewarding their guy, man. He's now he's getting older, from my understanding. Isn't he like 30?
Yeah, he's 30.
But you know what? Get a 4-year deal. I really want to see what the guarantee money is. Maybe they only guaranteed about two years of it, or 2.5. But good for him, man. The Broncos made some big things happen last year. He was a big part of it. And the quarterback is going to need his weapons. A young quarterback, you gotta support him with the weapons. And he gets them. He deserves to keep them. And maybe they even make moves that expands on it. So good look for the Denver Broncos. Let's see if they can improve on last year, or if they stay the same or regress. Time will tell.
Time will tell, man. Listen, you know what? That sophomore slump is a sickness, and it's going to infect somebody. Who is the QB? Anyway, guys, that is going to have to do it for another edition of your favorite midday NFL show on the internet. Fourth and Forever, brought to you by Roundtable Sports. Real coverage from real fans. Colby, what do you got to tell the audience before we set them off on their merry way? Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys for having me on as always. It's always a damn pleasure to come on here on Roundtable Sports, baby, fourth and forever. I always love talking about my Patriots, but it is always a breath of fresh air, as I'm sure you guys know. Be able to talk about some other teams and some other topics rather than talking about my own damn team ad nauseum for hours and hours and hours. But we've been repping out content over at Patriots Global. So if you guys want to hear more about the Patriots, whether you're a Patriots fan or not, I always say keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. So check out my Patriots content at Patriots Global. We're doing training camp recaps every single day.
Dude, you know what? Go check out our boy Colby. And I do got to tell you what, today was refreshing because we did not discuss a single team in the AFC East at all.
We talked about the Patriots. What do you mean?
Oh, yeah, we did. Never mind.
But
anyway, barely. This was actually a very centralized show around the league. I love it, man. It goes to show you that football season's back. TD, what do you got to say to the audience? I think your mic's muted.
I know I'm back. Great show today. Damn, man, you skipping out on a big topic. Maybe we can hit it tomorrow. You missed it.
Which one?
Jared Sanders might be the next Brady, man. It's
happening. All right.
It's happening.
Right. So
We'll
that's going to be the title of tomorrow's episode for sure.
Man. But no, man, I thank everybody for coming through. It was a great show today. We're going to keep talking ball over here on Fourth and Forever. We love y'all. Thanks for the love and support.
Yeah, guys, we love you very much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please hit that thumbs up sign on your way out, subscribe, and turn on bell notifications. And more importantly, just tell people about the show, guys. We are live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. EST. Next week, I believe we launch our brand new time. Is that right, TD, or is that later?
Season start. But we'll talk about it if we want to do it early.
Yeah. We will talk about a brand new time, likely starting next week. Next week is the full launch of Roundtable Sports. All of the divisional shows will be back. The college football show will be launched. A lot of very exciting things. Love you guys. Thank you so much. We will see you next time.